Get out! You clearly don't belong here. Rebecca Torres snatches the boarding pass from Maya Williams's hand before she can react. The senior flight attendant crumples it like trash, dropping the crumpled paper at Maya's feet. "Pick it up," Rebecca commands, loud enough for first class to hear. Maya, 42 and dressed simply in jeans and a sweater, stares at her boarding pass seat 2A, now wrinkled on the airplane floor. Passengers crane their necks. Someone whispers, "Oh my God." Rebecca steps closer, forcing Maya backward. "I said pick it up, then move to the back where you belong." Maya bends down slowly, retrieving her crumpled ticket. Her face burns as first-class passengers watch in silence. A teenager in 3C starts recording. "There's been a mistake," Maya says quietly, straightening the paper. "The mistake is you thinking you can afford this seat." Rebecca's voice drips with satisfaction. "Security's on the way." Have you ever been humiliated so publicly that strangers became witnesses to your shame? 7:45 p.m., 10 minutes before departure. "Let me see that ID, too." Rebecca extends her hand like she's collecting evidence. "I need to verify this isn't some kind of mix-up." Maya pulls out her driver's license. Rebecca examines it under the overhead light, turning it over twice, holding it up to check for forgeries. The performance is deliberate, designed for maximum humiliation. "Maya Williams," Rebecca reads aloud, her voice skeptical. "And you're telling me you paid for first class?" "I'm a Platinum Medallion member," Maya replies calmly. "I've been flying Delta for—" "Steve!" Rebecca calls over her shoulder. A male flight attendant approaches, his face already showing concern at Rebecca's tone. "We have a situation here. This woman claims she belongs in 2A. Steve glances at Maya's documents. His brow furrows. Rebecca, her ticket clearly shows, "I know what I'm looking at." And Rebecca's voice sharpens. Something's not right. In seat 3C, 18-year-old Marcus Carter starts his TikTok live stream. "Y'all are not going to believe what I'm seeing right now," he whispers to his phone. "They're about to kick this black lady off first class for no reason." The viewer count jumps from 0 to 47 in seconds. 7:47 p.m., 8 minutes to departure. The gate agent's voice crackles over the intercom. "Final boarding call for Delta Flight 2847. Doors closing in 8 minutes. Maya checks her phone. 3 missed calls from corporate emergency line. She slides the phone back into her pocket without answering. Rebecca crosses her arms, blocking Maya's path completely. "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to wait here while I sort this out with my supervisor." "Of course," Maya says. Her voice remains steady, but her grip tightens on her understated leather handbag and Hermes Birkin with no obvious logo, worn soft with age. A woman in 2B, elderly and white with perfectly styled silver hair, leans into the aisle. "Excuse me, miss," she addresses Rebecca. "This is absolutely ridiculous. The woman has a ticket." "Ma'am, please return to your seat," Rebecca snaps. "This doesn't concern you." Marcus's live stream now has 312 viewers. Comments flood the screen. "This is disgusting." "Call this out." "Where's the manager?" 7:48 p.m., 7 minutes to departure. "Rebecca, what's the holdup?" The voice belongs to Jennifer Lake, the flight's purser. She's been flying for 20 years, her uniform crisp and authoritative. "This passenger is in the wrong seat," Rebecca explains, gesturing dismissively at Maya. "She won't move to economy." Jennifer examines Maya's boarding pass, then checks her tablet. Her expression changes subtly. "Rebecca, this shows Platinum Elite status. She's cleared for this seat." "Look at her." Rebecca's voice drops, but not low enough. "Does she look like she can afford first class?" The comment hangs in the air like a slap. Maya's jaw tightens almost imperceptibly, but she says nothing. Marcus's stream hits 1,200 viewers. Someone in the comments identifies the flight. "That's Delta 2847 JFK to Atlanta." Another viewer screenshots Rebecca's name tag. 7:49 p.m., 6 minutes to departure. The captain's voice fills the cabin. Flight attendants, prepare for departure in 6 minutes. We have a weather window we need to meet. Jennifer pulls Rebecca aside, speaking in urgent whispers. Maya catches fragments. Discrimination complaint. Viral video. Corporate will have our heads. But Rebecca isn't backing down. I know what I saw. Her behavior, the way she's dressed. Something's off. I'm calling security. Maya's phone buzzes with another call from corporate. This time she glances at the screen. The caller ID shows emergency board line Dr. Williams. She declines the call. In seat 1A, business executive David Park starts recording with his iPhone, positioning it carefully to capture the entire interaction. His LinkedIn shows he's VP of marketing at a Fortune 500 company. He knows a PR disaster when he sees one. 7:50 p.m. 5 minutes to departure. 2 TSA officers board the aircraft. Martinez, a stocky Hispanic man in his 40s, and Johnson, a younger black woman with kind eyes that have seen too much. What seems to be the problem? Officer Martinez asks. This passenger is refusing to move to her assigned seat, Rebecca explains, her voice taking on an official tone. She's becoming disruptive. Officer Johnson examines Maya's documents. Her expression is unreadable, but her partner notices her slight headshake. Ma'am, Martinez addresses Maya, we're going to need you to cooperate or we'll have to ask you to deplane. Maya stands slowly, her movements graceful despite the humiliation. Officers, I understand you're doing your job, but I am in the correct seat. Marcus's TikTok stream exploded to 8,500 viewers. The hashtag #DeltaDiscrimination starts appearing in comments. Someone has already created a Twitter thread with screenshots. 7:51 p.m. 4 minutes to departure. Ground control radios the cockpit with increasing urgency. Word of the live stream has reached Delta's social media monitoring team. The captain receives a message on his company iPad. Possible PR incident in progress. Stand by for further instructions. Rebecca, sensing the shift in energy but refusing to back down, makes her fatal mistake. Look, people try to upgrade themselves all the time, she says to the officers, her voice carrying throughout first class. They print fake boarding passes. They lie about their status. I've been doing this for 15 years. I know the type. The words hang in the air like poison gas. Maya's phone buzzes again. This time, she answers. Dr. Williams, she says quietly into the phone. Yes, I'm aware of the situation. Please hold on. She looks up at Rebecca, her eyes calm but unblinking. Would you mind if I made one quick phone call before we resolve this? Officer Johnson nods. Something in Maya's demeanor has shifted. Not angry, not defensive, but suddenly, unmistakably, powerful. Maya dials a number with steady fingers. The cabin falls silent except for the hum of air conditioning. This is Dr. Maya Williams, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. I need to implement Code 7 protocol on Delta Flight 22847. Yes, immediately. 7:52 p.m. 3 minutes to departure. The phone call lasts exactly 37 seconds. Maya's voice never rises above conversational level, but every word carries weight like a judge delivering a verdict. Understood. Full implementation. Thank you. She hangs up and looks directly at Rebecca. I appreciate your patience. This will be resolved momentarily. Rebecca's confidence wavers for a split second before her jaw sets harder. Ma'am, you can make all the phone calls you want. Security is here and you're getting off this plane. Officer Martinez shifts uncomfortably. Something about Maya's calm demeanor unsettles him. It's the quiet confidence of someone who's never had to raise their voice to be heard. Marcus's TikTok stream has exploded to 25,000 viewers. Comments cascade like a waterfall. Someone find out who she is. This is going viral. Rebecca about to lose her job. Who did she call, though? A verified Twitter account with 2.3 million followers retweets Marcus's stream. At Delta Air discrimination happening live on Flight 2847. This is absolutely disgusting. Delta discrimination. 7:53 p.m. 2 minutes to departure. Captain Rodriguez receives an urgent message on his company iPad. His face goes pale as he reads. He immediately picks up the internal phone. Ground control, this is Delta 2847. We have a developing situation, requesting immediate ground stop. The tower's response crackles through. 2847, explain the nature of emergency. Stand by, Rodriguez replies, his voice tight. He turns to his first officer. We're not moving until I get clarification from the corporate. His hands shake slightly as he forwards the message to his first officer. Priority Alpha. Dr. Maya Williams aboard your aircraft. Board chair status. Handle with extreme care. Corporate en route. In the cabin, Jennifer the purser notices the captain hasn't started the safety announcement. She checks her watch nervously, then sees Rebecca still arguing with the passenger in 2A. Rebecca, Jennifer hisses, moving quickly up the aisle. What is taking so long? 7:54 p.m. 1 minute past scheduled departure. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Rodriguez's voice fills the cabin, unusually strained. We're experiencing a brief operational delay. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened. The announcement triggers immediate anxiety among passengers. Business travelers frantically check their connections on phones. A woman in economy starts crying softly about missing her daughter's wedding rehearsal dinner. A man in 12C begins loudly demanding answers. Rebecca seizes the moment, her voice rising so the entire cabin can hear. See? Now you're delaying the entire flight. 200 people are suffering because you won't accept reality. She turns to address the cabin directly. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for this delay. We're dealing with a passenger who won't move to her correct seat. Several passengers crane their necks to see Maya. Someone in business class shouts, "Just let her sit down." Another voice calls out, "This is ridiculous." Maya doesn't respond. She's checking her phone, scrolling through what appears to be a company directory. Her thumb moves with practiced precision, navigating through screens labeled Emergency Protocols and Board Communications. David Park in 1A zooms his phone camera on Maya's screen for a split second. He catches a glimpse of Delta Corporate Emergency Response Team, board level, before she tilts the device away. 7:55 p.m., 2 minutes past departure. I want her off this plane now! Rebecca's voice rises for the first time, cracking slightly. Her professional composure finally begins to crumble. She's disrupting our operations, people are filming everything, and passengers are getting upset. The teenage boy in 3C Marcus adjusts his phone angle to capture Rebecca's increasingly frantic gestures. His viewer count jumps to 34,000. Comments flood in faster than he can read them. Officer Johnson exchanges a meaningful look with her partner. In her 8 years with TSA, she's developed a sixth sense for situations that are about to explode in unexpected directions. Something about this doesn't feel like a standard passenger dispute. Ma'am, she addresses Maya gently, is there someone we can call to verify your ticket status, or... Maya's phone rings. The ringtone is simple, professional, a standard iPhone chime that somehow sounds more authoritative coming from her device. She glances at the caller ID and her expression shifts almost imperceptibly from calm to quietly alert. Excuse me, I need to take this. No more phone calls, Rebecca snaps, reaching for Maya's device with both hands. Maya sidesteps smoothly, her movement fluid and controlled, the grace of someone who spent years in boardrooms where every gesture matters. This is Dr. Williams. The voice on the other end is male, urgent, and just loud enough for Officer Johnson to catch fragments. Board meeting emergency session. Legal implications. Media monitoring shows over 40,000 viewers. CNN and NBC picking up the story. 7:56 p.m. 3 minutes past departure. Maya listens intently, occasionally responding with single words. Understood. Yes. Immediately. Full protocol. During the call, a new player enters the scene. The ground supervisor, Patricia Kim, boards the aircraft with quick, purposeful steps. She's a petite Korean-American woman in her 40s, but her presence immediately commands attention. Her face is grave, her company iPad clutched tightly in her hands. "Where is Dr. Williams?" she asks Jennifer immediately, not bothering with pleasantries. Jennifer points toward first class, confusion clear in her expression. "Who's asking? What's this about?" Patricia doesn't answer. She moves toward Maya with the focused urgency of someone whose career depends on the next 60 seconds. Marcus's stream now has 47,000 viewers. Someone in the comments has identified Patricia. "That's Patricia Kim, station manager. I've seen her at JFK before." Another comment. "Why is management coming on the plane?" Twitter explodes beyond just retweets. Hashtag Delta Flight 2847 starts trending nationally. Screenshots of Rebecca's discriminatory comments spread across Instagram stories. A CNN reporter at Atlanta Airport sees the live stream notification and starts making urgent calls to her producer. Rebecca watches Patricia approach with growing confusion and panic. "Patricia? What are you doing here? I have this situation under control." Patricia doesn't even acknowledge Rebecca. She walks directly to Maya, who is still on her phone call. 7:57 p.m., 4 minutes past departure. "Dr. Williams," Patricia says, her voice carefully controlled but unmistakably respectful. "I'm Patricia Kim, ground operations supervisor. I need to speak with you immediately about the situation." Rebecca's face shows the first real crack in her armor. The confident sneer wavers. "Wait, what's happening here? Why is everyone treating her like she's important? Who is she that everyone's—" "Rebecca!" Patricia interrupts sharply, her tone carrying authority that makes several passengers look up from their phones. "You need to step back from Dr. Williams. Right now." Maya ends her phone call and slides the device into her bag. For the first time since the confrontation began, she looks directly at Patricia with recognition. "Ms. Kim, I assume you've been briefed on the developing situation." The formal, business-like exchange makes Officer Martinez's eyebrows furrow. He's worked airport security for 12 years, and this interaction pattern is familiar. It's how corporate executives speak to their subordinates. The elderly woman in 2B leans forward, her silver hair catching the overhead lights. "Young man," she addresses Marcus, "are you getting all of this on your recording? Because this woman," she points directly at Rebecca, "has been absolutely horrible from the moment she saw this lady." Marcus nods, adjusting his phone angle. His viewer count hits 52,000. The comment section is moving so fast it's unreadable, but he catches fragments. Corporate damage control. Someone's about to get fired. Plot twist incoming. 7:58 p.m., 5 minutes past departure. Maya's phone buzzes with a text message. She glances at it and shows the screen to Patricia, who nods grimly and begins typing rapidly on her iPad. "Rebecca," Maya says, her voice still calm but now carrying an authority that makes everyone in first class fall silent. The conversation in the rows behind stops. Even the crying woman in the economy quiets down. "I think it's time you understood exactly what's happening here." She opens her phone's notes app and shows Patricia something that makes the supervisor's face go completely white. Patricia's hands actually tremble as she reads whatever is displayed. "Oh my God," Patricia whispers, loud enough for the first few rows to hear. "Rebecca, you need to understand." Rebecca looks around wildly. The other flight attendants have backed away from her, clustering near the galley and whispering urgently among themselves. Jennifer won't meet her eyes. Even the TSA officers seem uncertain, shifting their weight and exchanging glances. Steve, the male flight attendant who had questioned Rebecca earlier, shakes his head and walks away. His body language screams professional distance, the universal signal of someone who doesn't want to be associated with an unfolding disaster. Marcus's live stream breaks 60,000 viewers. Major news outlets are now monitoring the hashtag. Delta's corporate communications team has activated their crisis management protocol. Stock price monitoring alerts are being sent to executives' phones. "I don't understand what's happening," Rebecca says, her voice smaller now, almost pleading. The aggressive confidence has completely evaporated. "Someone needs to tell me what's going on." Maya looks at her with something that might be pitiful, the expression of someone who understands that Rebecca's world is about to change forever. "You will." 8 p.m., 7 minutes past departure minutes. Maya stands slowly, her movements deliberate and controlled. The entire first-class cabin falls silent. Even the murmur from economy class dies down as word spreads that something significant is happening. She reaches into her Hermes bag and withdraws a business card holder. Not plastic, not leather platinum, with the weight that comes from real metal. Her fingers move with the precision of someone who's done this thousands of times in boardrooms around the world. "Rebecca," Maya says, her voice carrying to every corner of first class, "I think there's been a fundamental misunderstanding about who I am." She extends a single business card. Rebecca's hand shakes as she takes it. Her eyes scan the text once, twice, then her face goes completely white. The card slips from her fingers and flutters to the airplane floor. Officer Johnson, standing close enough to see, reads the fallen card. "Dr. Maya Williams, Board Chair, Delta Airlines, Inc." The TSA officer's mouth falls open. Her partner, Martinez, bends down to pick up the card. His face transforms from confusion to horror to professional mortification in the span of 3 seconds. 8:01 p.m., 8 minutes past departure. The revelation hits the cabin like a shockwave. Marcus's phone screen explodes with comments moving too fast to read. "Holy shit! Board chair! Rebecca is so fired!" Plot twist of the century. She owns the airline. His viewer count rockets past 75,000. The stream is being shared across every social platform simultaneously. Hashtag Delta Board Chair starts trending alongside hashtag Delta Discrimination. Patricia Kim immediately steps forward, her professional training kicking in despite the unprecedented situation. "Dr. Williams, on behalf of Delta Airlines, I want to formally apologize for—" Maya raises a gentle hand. "Patricia, please. Let's handle this systematically." The word systematically carries weight. This isn't emotional. This isn't personal revenge. This is corporate protocol being implemented in real time. Rebecca finds her voice, but it comes out as barely a whisper. You're the board chair?" "I am." Maya's confirmation is matter-of-fact. "I've held the position for 3 years. Before that, I was CEO of Williams Healthcare Solutions, which we sold to Delta as part of our digital transformation initiative." David Park in 1A is frantically Googling on his phone. His screen shows Maya's Wikipedia page. Dr. Maya Williams, American business executive, physician, and healthcare entrepreneur. Net worth estimated at $847 million. Appointed Delta Airlines board chair in 2022. He holds up his phone so other passengers can see. A woman in 2C gasps audibly. The man in 1C starts recording David's screen. 8:02 p.m., 9 minutes past departure. Captain Rodriguez's voice crackles over the intercom, but this time his tone is completely different, respectful, almost reverent. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. Dr. Williams, we're standing by for your instructions." The announcement confirms what everyone is beginning to understand. The power dynamic has completely reversed. This isn't a passenger dispute anymore. This is a board chair conducting business. Rebecca's legs seem to give out slightly. She grabs the back of seat 2A for support. I didn't know, she whispers. How could I have known? Maya looks at her with calm eyes. Rebecca, that's exactly the problem. You treated me poorly because you thought you could, because you believed I was powerless. She pauses, letting the words sink in. This isn't about who I am. This is about how you treat every passenger who doesn't fit your assumptions about who belongs in first class. Jennifer, the purser, has gone completely pale. She's been flying for 20 years, and she's never seen anything like this. Her career flashes before her eyes as she realizes she was complicit in discriminating against her own company's board chair. 8:03 p.m., 10 minutes past departure. Maya's phone rings again. This time, she answers it on speaker. Dr. Williams, this is Richard Carter, CEO of Delta Airlines. I'm calling from our Atlanta headquarters with our full executive team present. The entire first-class cabin can hear every word. Marcus adjusts his phone to capture the audio clearly. 85,000 people are now listening to a live conversation between Delta's board chair and CEO. Richard, Maya responds calmly. I'm implementing Code 7 protocol as discussed in our last board meeting. The discrimination incident is being live-streamed to approximately 90,000 viewers. Understood completely. Dr. Williams, you have full authority to handle this situation as you see fit. Our legal team is standing by, HR is prepared for immediate action, and our communications department is ready to implement whatever response you deem appropriate. Rebecca's face has gone from white to green. She's beginning to understand the magnitude of her mistake. This isn't just about her job. This is about corporate policy, legal liability, and brand reputation at the highest levels. 8:04 p.m. 11 minutes past departure. Richard, I want a complete review of employee training protocols, Maya continues, her voice carrying the authority of someone who regularly makes decisions affecting thousands of employees and millions of customers. I want bias recognition training mandatory for all customer-facing staff within 60 days. I want anonymous reporting systems for discrimination incidents, and I want quarterly audits of passenger complaint patterns broken down by demographic data. She pauses, looking directly at Rebecca. Most importantly, I want zero-tolerance enforcement, no warnings, not additional training for repeat offenders, immediate termination for discriminatory behavior. Through the phone, CEO Carter's voice is crystal clear. Consider it done, Dr. Williams. We'll have the new policies drafted and implemented within 30 days. Officer Martinez whispers to his partner, We need to get off this plane. This is way above our pay grade. Johnson nods. Ma'am, she addresses Maya, it appears this situation is being resolved through internal corporate channels. We'll be returning to our posts unless you need anything further. Maya nods graciously. Thank you, officers. I appreciate your professionalism. As the TSA officers leave, several passengers start applauding. The sound builds throughout first class, spreading to business and economy. 95,000 people are watching a live stream of passengers applauding their airline's board chair. 8:05 p.m., 12 minutes past departure. Maya ends the call with the CEO and turns her attention back to the immediate situation. Her voice returns to the calm, measured tone she's used throughout the entire incident. Rebecca, I need you to understand something. This isn't about punishment. This is about accountability and systematic change. Rebecca's voice comes out strangled. Am I fired? Maya considers this carefully. That decision will be made through proper HR channels after a complete investigation. But I can tell you that your behavior tonight violated multiple company policies and federal regulations. She opens her phone and shows Patricia something on the screen. Patricia, I need you to document everything. Every comment made, every action taken, every witness statement. This incident will become a case study for our new training program. Patricia nods, her fingers flying across her iPad. Dr. Williams, I have everything recorded. The entire interaction has been documented through multiple sources. Marcus's stream notification pops up. 99,847 viewers. He's accidentally created the most watched corporate accountability moment in social media history. 8:06 p.m., 13 minutes past departure. Maya looks around first class, making eye contact with several passengers who recorded the incident. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your patience during this delay. What you witnessed tonight is exactly why we're implementing new policies to ensure every Delta passenger is treated with dignity and respect. The elderly woman in 2B speaks up. Dr. Williams, I've been flying for 60 years, and this young woman's behavior was absolutely unacceptable. Thank you for handling this with such grace. David Park raises his hand slightly. Dr. Williams, as someone in corporate communications, I have to say, this is how crisis management should be done. Immediate accountability, systematic solutions, and transparent leadership. Maya nods appreciatively. Thank you. But this isn't crisis management. This is simply how business should always be conducted, with respect for human dignity as our fundamental principle. Rebecca finally speaks, her voice barely audible. Dr. Williams, I'm sorry, I made assumptions. I was wrong. Maya looks at her with something that might be compassion. Rebecca, I accept your apology. But apologies don't change systems. Policies do. Training does. Accountability does. She pauses. And that's exactly what we're going to implement. Marcus's viewer count hits 100,000 just as Maya delivers her final line of the twist reveal. Sometimes the most powerful response to discrimination isn't anger. It's the authority to change the entire system. 8:07 p.m. 14 minutes past departure. Maya opens her phone and pulls up what appears to be a comprehensive dashboard. The screen displays real-time data flowing in from multiple sources. Social media sentiment analysis, stock price fluctuations, news coverage metrics, and legal risk assessments. Patricia, I need you to see these numbers, Maya says, turning her phone toward the ground supervisor. The data is staggering. Delta's stock price has dropped 2.3% in the past 15 minutes. The hashtag Delta discrimination has generated 847,000 mentions across all social platforms. Brand sentiment has plummeted from plus 64% positive to 23% negative in real time. Dr. Williams, Patricia whispers, reading the screen. This is a $127 million brand damage event, Maya completes, in 14 minutes. Marcus's live stream has stabilized at 103,000 viewers, but the ripple effects are exponential. Major news networks have picked up the story. Screenshots and screen recordings are being shared millions of times across platforms. The incident has become a trending topic on Reddit, TikTok, Twitter, and LinkedIn simultaneously. 8:08 p.m., 15 minutes past departure. Maya dials another number. This call, like the CEO conversation, goes on speaker for everyone to hear. Legal Department, this is Margaret Foster, General Counsel. Margaret, this is Maya. I need immediate legal analysis of tonight's incident on Flight 2847. Dr. Williams, we've been monitoring the situation. From what we've observed through the live stream, we have potential violations of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Section 40127 of the Federal Aviation Act, and multiple breaches of our own Corporate Code of Conduct, Section 12.4. Rebecca's face goes ashen as she realizes the legal implications are being discussed in front of 100,000-plus witnesses. Maya continues, Margaret, what's our liability exposure? Conservative estimate, $15 to $25 million in potential discrimination lawsuits, another $50 to $75 million in regulatory fines, and immeasurable reputational damage. We're looking at a Category 5 corporate crisis. The numbers land like physical blows. Rebecca grabs the armrest of seat 2A, her knuckles white. 8:09 p.m., 16 minutes past departure. Maya's phone displays another dashboard, this one showing Delta's operational metrics in real time. Rebecca, do you know what Delta Airlines generates in revenue per day? Rebecca shakes her head, unable to speak. $127 million daily. That means tonight's incident has cost us approximately 1 full day of revenue in brand damage alone. She scrolls to another screen showing quarterly projections. Our Q4 earnings report is scheduled for next week. We were projecting a 12% increase in passenger confidence and a 8.7% boost in premium cabin bookings. This single incident threatens to reverse 3 years of diversity and inclusion investment. David Park in 1A is frantically taking notes. As a Fortune 500 marketing executive, he recognizes these numbers as catastrophic. His own company's crisis management protocols would be in full activation mode. Patricia pulls out her iPad and shows Maya real-time booking cancellations. Dr. Williams, we're seeing immediate booking drops. 17 cancellations in the past 5 minutes, all citing tonight's incident. 10 p.m., 17 minutes past departure. Maya opens her email and displays a message thread labeled Board Emergency Protocol, Discrimination Response. Rebecca, I want you to understand the systematic implications of your actions tonight. She reads from the screen. Delta Airlines Employee Handbook, Section 12.4. Any employee who engages in discriminatory behavior based on race, gender, ethnicity, or perceived socioeconomic status shall face immediate suspension pending investigation, mandatory retraining, and potential termination. Rebecca's breathing becomes shallow. Dr. Williams, I didn't mean... Section 12.4.1 continues. Discriminatory behavior that results in negative media coverage, social media backlash, or potential legal liability shall result in immediate termination without severance. Maya scrolls down. Section 12.4.2. Employees whose discriminatory actions require board-level intervention shall be subject to full corporate investigation, potential legal action, and permanent industry blacklisting. The legal terminology hits like a gavel. Rebecca realizes this isn't just about losing her job, it's about her entire career in aviation being over. 8:11 p.m. 18 minutes past departure. Maya's phone rings again. The caller ID shows Delta Board of Directors, emergency session. Dr. Williams, this is the full board calling from our emergency session. We have all 12 members present. Maya puts the call on the speaker. 12 of the most powerful voices in aviation are now audible to everyone in first class and to Marcus's 105,000 live stream viewers. Board members, I'm implementing our new discrimination response protocol in real time. The incident has been witnessed by over 100,000 people through social media live streaming. Board member James Rodriguez speaks. Dr. Williams, we're authorizing immediate implementation of the zero-tolerance policy, full disciplinary action, complete policy overhaul, and public accountability measures. Board member Sarah Carter adds, we're also approving the $50 million emergency response fund for bias training, monitoring technology, and victim compensation programs. Rebecca's legs finally give out. She sits heavily in the empty seat across the aisle, her face buried in her hands. 8:12 p.m., 19 minutes past departure. Maya displays another screen showing Delta's competitive position in the market. Rebecca, Delta commands 17% of the U.S. domestic air travel market. We serve 200 million passengers annually. Tonight, you've potentially damaged our relationship with every single one of them. She scrolls to customer satisfaction metrics. Our Net Promoter Score was plus 47, ranking us second among major carriers. This incident threatens to drop us below Southwest, American, and United. Patricia interjects. Dr. Williams, our customer service lines are being overwhelmed. Complaints are pouring in, but so are messages of support for your handling of the situation. Maya nods. That's because accountability resonates with people, but accountability requires consequences. She turns back to Rebecca. You have 2 choices. You can accept immediate resignation with a neutral reference, or you can force us to proceed with a full termination investigation that will become public record. 8:13 p.m., 20 minutes past departure. The elderly woman in 2B speaks up. Dr. Williams, I've been watching this young woman's behavior for 20 minutes. She showed no remorse until she discovered who you were. Other passengers murmur agreement. The man in 1C adds, she was enjoying the power trip. This wasn't a mistake, it was deliberate humiliation. Maya acknowledges their comments with a nod, then addresses Rebecca directly. The pattern of behavior described by witnesses suggests this wasn't an isolated incident. She pulls up another screen on her phone. Rebecca Torres, employee ID 47291. In the past 18 months, you've had 47 formal complaints filed against you. Rebecca's head snaps up. That's not... 23 involved allegations of racial profiling. 31 included reports of condescending behavior toward passengers of color. 8 specifically mentioned inappropriate comments about passengers' economic status. The data is damning. Patricia takes notes rapidly on her iPad. Maya continues. The complaints show a clear pattern. African American passengers, Hispanic passengers, and younger passengers of color were disproportionately targeted. 8:14 p.m., 21 minutes past departure. Maya's phone shows a text message from Delta's chief financial officer. Stock price recovering as news spreads about your handling of the situation. Board response being praised on financial news networks. She shows the screen to Patricia. This is what accountability looks like. When leadership takes immediate action, confidence returns. Marcus's viewer count has hit 108,000. Comments are overwhelmingly supportive. This is how you handle discrimination. Delta stock going up. Maya Williams for president. Maya dials one final number on the speaker. Dr. Williams, this is Human Resources Director Linda Park. Linda, I need Rebecca Torres's personnel file reviewed within 24 hours. I want a complete audit of all complaints, all training records, and all performance evaluations. Already in progress, Dr. Williams. Based on preliminary review, we're recommending immediate termination with cause. Rebecca finally speaks, her voice breaking. Dr. Williams, please, I have 2 children. I need this job. Maya's expression softens slightly, but her voice remains firm. Rebecca, I have compassion for your situation. But your actions tonight affected not just me. They damaged every employee who works hard to build an inclusive workplace. She pauses. Your children deserve a mother who treats all people with dignity. Tonight, you failed to model that behavior. 8:15 p.m., 22 minutes past departure. Maya stands and addresses the entire first-class cabin, knowing her words are being heard by over 100,000 people online. Ladies and gentlemen, what you witnessed tonight is why systematic change matters more than individual punishment. She holds up her phone, showing Delta's new policy framework. Effective immediately, Delta Airlines is implementing mandatory monthly bias recognition training for all 75,000 employees. We're installing AI-powered monitoring systems to detect discriminatory language in real time. We're creating anonymous reporting systems with guaranteed investigation within 48 hours. The passengers listen intently. This isn't just about Rebecca anymore. It's about transforming an entire industry. We're also establishing a $100 million dignity fund to support passengers who experience discrimination, provide additional employee training, and partner with civil rights organizations to ensure accountability. Patricia looks up from her iPad. Dr. Williams, the new policies are being implemented across all Delta hubs immediately. The CEO has authorized overnight deployment. Maya nods. Rebecca, your termination will be effective immediately upon landing. You'll receive notification through official HR channels, along with information about mandatory bias counseling and career transition support. Rebecca nods through her tears, finally understanding the full scope of consequences. However, Maya continues, this incident will also serve a positive purpose. It will become the foundation for training programs that prevent future discrimination. Your mistake will help thousands of employees learn better behavior. She looks around first class one final time. Sometimes the most powerful response to injustice isn't anger or revenge. It's the systematic change that prevents the same injustice from happening to anyone else. The live stream comments explode with appreciation for Maya's approach, swift, decisive, but ultimately constructive rather than purely punitive. Marcus's stream has become the most watched corporate accountability moment in social media history, with 112,000 live viewers witnessing a masterclass in leadership under pressure. 8:16 p.m., 23 minutes past departure. Maya's phone buzzes with a priority alert from Delta's communications director. She reads the message aloud for transparency. Dr. Williams, major news networks want immediate interviews. Stock price has recovered fully and is now up 1.7% based on crisis response. Social media sentiment is shifting positive. She looks around first class. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to resolve this situation completely before we depart. Patricia approaches with her iPad. Dr. Williams, I have Rebecca's formal resignation letter prepared. It includes acknowledgement of policy violations and agreement to mandatory sensitivity training. Rebecca's hand shakes as she signs the digital document. Her 15-year career at Delta ends with a stylus on a tablet screen, witnessed by over 110,000 people online. Rebecca, Maya says gently, you're also enrolled in a comprehensive bias recognition program through the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Delta will cover all costs. Despite everything, Maya's final gesture toward Rebecca is constructive rather than purely punitive. 8:17 p.m., 24 minutes past departure. Maya dials Delta's training department on speaker. This is Dr. Williams. I need immediate implementation of Protocol 7 training modules. Dr. Williams, we're ready. The new Dignity First training program launches tomorrow across all 329 Delta locations. Every employee, from baggage handlers to executives, will complete 40 hours of bias recognition training within 60 days. The scope is staggering. 75,000 employees across the entire airline will undergo comprehensive retraining because of tonight's incident. Additionally, the training director continues, we've partnered with Harvard Business School's Bias Research Center and the Southern Poverty Law Center to develop the most comprehensive anti-discrimination training in aviation history. Marcus adjusts his phone to capture Maya's reaction. His viewer count has stabilized at 115,000, but the impact is multiplying exponentially across social platforms. 8:18 p.m., 25 minutes past departure. Patricia shows Maya her iPad screen. Dr. Williams, here's the immediate policy implementation timeline. Maya reads the key points aloud. Effective tonight at midnight. All Delta employees will have body cameras activated during any passenger dispute. AI-powered language monitoring will flag discriminatory comments in real time. Anonymous reporting systems go live with guaranteed 24-hour response. She scrolls down. Within 48 hours, every Delta gate, aircraft, and customer service location will display new Dignity First signage in English and Spanish. QR codes will provide direct access to discrimination reporting. The changes aren't just policy statements, they're immediate operational overhauls affecting every aspect of Delta's business. Within 1 week, external auditing firm McKinsey & Company will begin a comprehensive review of all customer service interactions from the past 12 months, analyzing patterns of discriminatory behavior. 8:19 p.m., 26 minutes past departure. Maya's phone displays real-time customer feedback streaming in from Delta's social media channels. She reads several comments aloud. From @TravelMom47, this is exactly why I'm switching my family's travel to Delta. Real leadership, real accountability. From @BusinessTraveler, been flying Delta for 20 years. Tonight's response makes me proud to be a loyal customer. From @CivilRights, now, Dr. Maya Williams just showed every corporation how to handle discrimination. Swift, decisive, systematic. But she also acknowledges criticism. From @skepticalflyer, easy to fix problems when you're the board chair. What about regular passengers who face this? Maya addresses this directly. That commenter raises the most important point. These changes can't just benefit people with corporate titles. They have to protect every single passenger. 8:20 p.m., 27 minutes past departure. Maya pulls up Delta's customer compensation framework on her phone. Patricia, I'm authorizing immediate compensation for every passenger on this flight. The announcement surprises everyone. Each passenger will receive a $500 Delta credit, a formal apology letter from our executive team, and priority customer service status for 12 months. She continues. But more importantly, we're establishing the Dignity Response Fund $25 million annually to compensate passengers who experience discrimination and fund bias prevention programs. David Park in 1A raises his hand. Dr. Williams, as someone in corporate communications, I have to ask, how do you ensure these changes actually get implemented and don't become empty corporate promises? Maya smiles. It's the first time she's shown any emotion other than calm authority. Excellent question. All policy implementations will be tracked through public dashboards updated monthly. Every discrimination incident will be publicly reported with resolution details. 8:21 p.m., 28 minutes past departure. Maya's phone rings with a call from Delta's Chief Technology Officer. She answers the speaker. Dr. Williams, we're implementing the new monitoring technology tonight. Every Delta employee interaction will be recorded and analyzed by AI for bias indicators. What's the technical scope? Maya asks. Gate agents, flight attendants, customer service representatives, and ground crew, every customer-facing role will have their language patterns monitored in real time. The system flags potentially discriminatory comments and alerts supervisors immediately. Patricia looks concerned. Dr. Williams, won't employees resist this level of monitoring? Maya's response is direct. Employees who treat all passengers with respect have nothing to worry about. Those who don't will find new careers. Marcus's live stream comments are overwhelmingly supportive of the monitoring technology. Every airline should do this. Accountability through technology. Maya Williams changing the industry. 8:22 p.m., 29 minutes past departure. Maya receives a text from Delta's CEO and reads it aloud. Board has unanimously approved your recommendations. $200 million budget allocated for bias prevention initiatives over next 2 years. The financial commitment is unprecedented in aviation history. No airline has ever invested this scale of resources in discrimination prevention. Additionally, Maya continues reading, we're partnering with historically black colleges and universities to create a pipeline program for aviation careers. Full scholarships for 500 students annually. The elderly woman in 2B starts applauding. The sound spreads throughout first class, then to business class, and finally to economy. Over 200 passengers are giving Maya a standing ovation while 117,000 people watch online. 8:23 p.m., 30 minutes past departure. Maya stands and addresses the entire aircraft through the intercom system. Her voice carries to every seat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Maya Williams, board chair of Delta Airlines. What happened tonight was unacceptable, but your witness and your voices made change possible. She pauses, letting the words resonate. Discrimination thrives in silence. It dies under scrutiny. Tonight, 120,000 people watched discrimination being confronted and systematic change being implemented in real time. The passenger intercom captures every word. This incident will become a case study at business schools worldwide, not because of the discrimination, but because of how quickly and comprehensively an organization can choose to change. 8:24 p.m., 31 minutes past departure. Maya's phone shows the final implementation notification. All Delta systems updated. New policies active across the entire network. Employee training begins at 6 a.m. tomorrow. She looks around first class one final time. Ladies and gentlemen, we've delayed your evening, but we've also made history. Future passengers will be treated better because you witnessed injustice and demanded better. Captain Rodriguez's voice comes over the intercom. Dr. Williams, we're ready for departure whenever you give authorization. Maya nods to Patricia, who radios the cockpit. Dr. Williams authorizes departure. All corporate protocols completed. As the engines begin to spool up, Marcus ends his live stream with a final comment. Y'all just watched the most incredible display of leadership I've ever seen. Dr. Maya Williams didn't just handle discrimination. She transformed an entire industry in 31 minutes. His final viewer count, 124,847 people witnessed corporate accountability in real time. The plane begins to taxi toward the runway, but the changes implemented tonight will ripple through aviation for decades. Maya finally takes her seat 2A, first class, the seat she was always entitled to, but now occupied with the satisfaction of systematic change rather than individual victory. 6 months later, Delta's discrimination complaints dropped 89%. Employee satisfaction scores reached all-time highs. Customer trust ratings soared above all competitors. The Maya Williams protocol became standard practice across the aviation industry. Dr. Maya Williams received the NAACP Corporate Leadership Award, but she kept the focus on systematic change, not personal recognition. At her acceptance speech, she said simply, individual victories are temporary. Institutional change is permanent. The Harvard Business School case study, Flight 2847, Leadership Under Pressure, is now required reading in MBA programs worldwide. Rebecca Torres completed her bias training and now works for a nonprofit organization focused on workplace inclusion, speaking openly about her transformation. Marcus's live stream became the most watched corporate accountability moment in social media history. His follow-up interview with Maya has been viewed 47 million times across all platforms. Most importantly, the changes worked. Delta's Dignity First program prevented over 200 potential discrimination incidents in its first 6 months. Other airlines adopted similar policies after seeing Delta's customer satisfaction improvements. Maya's approach, calm, data-driven, systematic, proved that quiet power creates lasting change more effectively than anger or revenge. She transformed a moment of personal humiliation into industry-wide reform affecting millions of travelers. The elderly woman from seat 2B sent Maya a handwritten letter. You showed my granddaughter that dignity doesn't require raising your voice. Sometimes the most powerful response is simply refusing to accept that this is how things are. Your voice matters in fighting discrimination. Have you witnessed injustice during travel or at work? Share your story in the comments below. Every story shared creates awareness and accountability. Hit that share button if this story moved you. Change happens when people refuse to stay silent about discrimination. Subscribe to Black Soul Stories for more accounts of quiet strength overcoming systemic bias, because every victory against discrimination makes the world more dignified for everyone.